Yes, people, welcome back to Thai Sports, where today we are talking about the giants of the North East. It is Newcastle United Football Club, and we all know after a fantastic season last year where they were able to win the Carabao Cup and finally lift the trophy that the fans have wanted for many a years, we saw their number 9 hitman, Alexander Isak, deliver the trophy, scoring a now against his future club, which is Liverpool. But that saga is over. He has now left the club for 130 million. But Newcastle have said, you know what? We can move on. We want to get our future strikers in the club ASAP, ready to attack the Premier League. And firstly, they've gone to Germany and they've paid the big money for Nick Waltmarder, the young German 6'6" forward that can dribble, that can score. But they said, let's not stop there. Yoane Wissa has now arrived on deadline day. The Brentford striker that netted nearly 20 goals last season has arrived for 55 million. And it's now time to discuss why Newcastle made the move. So, Yoane Wissa, 28 years of age, Premier League proven, and arrives at Brentford after basically forcing through his move. He wanted to make that move. He was eager to play at the highest level. He wanted to play in the Champions League after seeing his compatriot Brian Mbeumo leave to Manchester United. And now Vissa gets to showcase his talents to the world in his peak years. So, he's 28. He's not going to get any worse, but he can definitely improve in the next 2-3 years, and Newcastle can get the best out of him. But Newcastle had to sign 2 strikers, people. It was simple for me. If you're letting someone like Alexander Isak go, who is the most complete forward in world football, then you need to at least sign 2 strikers, not only just to replace him, but to replace Callum Wilson and replace William Osula, who is set to move to Germany as well as record this video. So Newcastle literally had no strikers. And yet they still nearly beat Liverpool. And on any other given day, they would have. So that shows the coaching of Eddie Howe. It shows the passion of Newcastle. It showed the fans the togetherness of this team, because they really went for it on that Monday night. They really went out there on that Monday night and went for it. And look, they got a draw against Leeds on the weekend. It happens. You move on. It's the international break. But now it's time to reset the foundations. You've got your 2 strikers in. One that's young, up and coming, one of the highly sorted after strikers in European football, because Bayern Munich wanted him, by the way, people. And when you say Bayern Munich, normally Bayern Munich get their man. Well, they didn't on this occasion. But Newcastle did. They went to Germany under the radar, paid the money, and now they've got this 6'6" talented Nick Waltmarder in. And if you haven't seen my video of him previously, make sure you scroll down on the channel, like it, subscribe, and make sure you check it out, Newcastle fans. But today we talk about Yoane Wissa, and I like this signing. I don't think it's an A+ signing, because I don't rate Yoane Wissa as an A+ player. But one thing I will do about Yoane Wissa is I'll respect the grind, I respect the work rate, and I also respect that the club he's going to fits what Yoane Wissa is all about. Hard work, dedication, graft, and nothing's just given to him on a plate. You look at Yoane Wissa in his last 2 seasons, and you've seen the trajectory that he is on the way up. He's played out on the left for Brentford. He's played out on the right. He's played as a striker. He's been a bench player when Ivan Toney was there, but he's never moaned. He's never caused a fuss. He's waited for his moment to come, and he has taken his moment when it's come. Because in 2022-2023, 7 goals in 38 Premier League games. He played every single game, whether it was off the bench or not. He was fit for the whole season. I respect that. 10 goal contributions. 23-24 season, 34 games, 12 goals, 3 assists, 15 goal contributions. So it's gone up by 5. Last year, 35 games, 19 goals, 4 assists. And do you want me to tell you something? He wasn't even on penalties, because Brian Mbeumo was. So when you look at that return for Yoane Wissa, 19 goals in the league last season with 4 assists, 23 goal contributions. He's gone from 10 to 15 to 23. In a team like Brentford, that let's be honest, they don't exactly spend a lot of money. They rely on their coaching, their foundations, passion, and they get results, and they become a Premier League proven side. But Yoane Wissa in his season last year, where he stepped up and became the main number 9 when Ivan Toney left the club, he duly delivered. And it wasn't just his goals that impressed people. It was his hard work. It was his willingness to run. It was his willingness to make other players better around him, be a team player. And at Newcastle, there's nothing more appreciated than that. You're not about yourself at Newcastle Football Club. They are with you and you are with them. It's a team game and everyone elevates and works hard together. And this is epitomized here by what Yoane Wissa is going to bring you, Newcastle fans. This is Yoane Wissa's heat map from 24-25. Now, forget the centre circle where he might take a bit of kickoff. Look at the green and red areas. He is everywhere. He is everywhere. He was not stagnant. He is a functional, mobile forward, which is so modernized and needed right now in today's game, that he could play everywhere. I saw this heat map and I thought this can't even be real. I thought this couldn't even be real, but it was. You type in Yoane Wissa's heat map 24-25 season and you'll see it. And he's in them central areas where he needs to be, where you want him as a number 9. But he's not just staying there. He's not just making himself limited to what he can do for the football club. He was out on the left. He was out on the right. He was doing everything he could for the team to help them get up the pitch and for him to impact it by getting his 19 goals last season. That is what Newcastle needed, because when you look at what Newcastle are replacing, it's Alexander Isak as their main striker. And I can tell you now, we all witnessed Alexander Isak last season, and he does not stay just central. He drifts. He gets about the pitch. He helps Anthony Gordon. He helps Jacob Murphy. He helps Tonali, Guimaraes. He holds it up as a striker. He can drop in. He's a facilitating 9. And I always said that Newcastle Football Club, if you're going to have someone that's going to be successful after Alexander Isak, you need someone that can be multifunctional, can play off the left, can play off the right, can play down the middle. And this is what Yoane Wissa gives you. So Yoane Wissa can play as a number 9. We've seen him do that at Brentford. Do I think he's the most complete 9 in terms of, oh my God, like I'm a defender, I'm marking up against Yoane Wissa and I'm scared? No, he's not that type of player that's going to give me that. But what he does do is he drags defenders out. He confuses you. And the big thing for me is versatility. You've got Newcastle right now that played on the game on the weekend. They had Elanga on the bench. He had Jacob Murphy on Asula. I think it started up top. He had to change to a more 3-5-2 formation, Eddie Howe. You know, they're lacking depth in that area. But when you add someone like Wissa now, when you've got Gordon that can play off the left and up top, you've got Harvey Barnes that can play off the left, can play off the right. You've got Elanga that plays off the right, Jacob Murphy that plays off the right. Now Wissa that plays centre forward and can play off the left. You're adding versatility. You're adding options to your attack that if injuries now do happen or suspensions do occur, like we've seen with Anthony Gordon, you're like, okay, we have solutions. We have solutions to the problem. And that is what Yoane Wissa is going to give you. And let's not forget, people, Newcastle are back in the Champions League. And what did we see when Newcastle were back in the Champions League a couple of seasons ago? They got one big win against PSG and struggled. They lacked the depth. They lacked the quality. They couldn't compete with the 2 games a week. And we saw a drop-off in the league. But now, adding Waltmada and Wissa to Barnes, to Murphy, to Gordon, to Elanga, and all of a sudden, you're thinking they've got 6 attackers now. 3 can play on the week. 3 can play in midweek. Some can come off in 60 minutes. Some can come on for 30 minutes. Eddie Howe now has options. And that is what you want. And Newcastle now need to be in a position after the international break where they're like, right, we need people that can score goals. And this was shown in the last 2 seasons with 12 and 19 that he can do that. And he's now at a better team than Brentford. Respect to Brentford, but he's now at a better team. And this is what I like as well about Wissa. He's not scared to take shots. He takes shots. He does what he needs to do. As you can see, the circles in blue are on target. The dark black ones are off target. And the goals, as you can see, all inside the 18-yard box. And that is where Newcastle are going to want him and Waltmada finishing their chances, taking their opportunities. He doesn't need to be outside the box trying to waste opportunities to shoot. You can see a handful of shots outside the box. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 shots outside the box all season. He's got IQ. He's got intelligence. He's not just shooting from anywhere, hitting and hoping. No, he's shooting inside the box. And you can see a lot of them are goals. A lot of them are on target. And of course, some of them are off target, which is going to happen. But he has a high shot volume. He's getting into the right areas. And that is what Newcastle now need to do when you've got players like Elanga, like Gordon, like Barnes and Murphy trying to create down the sides and putting crosses into the box. Or if not, even Tonali, Guimaraes putting through balls in. And I do think this is a good finisher as well. He seems quite composed in front of goal. And I think this is going to be very good for Newcastle in terms of the depth and the quality when you add Waltmarder into this. Because if you can see that Newcastle have already played a 3-5-2 against Leeds and Eddie Howe is not scared of it, why can you not play them two together at times and throw it back? We've seen it before. Peter Crouch, Jermaine Defoe, old school. If you need a goal, go with both of them. One smaller, a bit more nimble, a bit more mobile in terms of running behind acceleration. And you've got Waltmarder. You can feed it into him. He can link it up. He can hold it up. He can also create moments with his feet because his dribbling ability is good, like I've already mentioned in my previous video. So when you look at Newcastle letting go of Asula, Wilson, and Isak, I like that they've brought in two different types of profiles in Wissa and Waltmarder. And you need that because you need players that can play with each other and complement. You need players that are versatile, and you players that give you options for different games, different scenarios. And that is why I think Newcastle have gone out and spent the money. Now, you could ask me, the only reservation I have is, do I think this is good enough to lead the line throughout a season for 38 games at Newcastle? I probably don't. I think he will fall short when the jump up to Champions League level and that extra little step up. But I do think as a squad player, which is what Newcastle want with him, I think he can definitely add something. 55 million. I think he's maybe a 40 million pound player. I think they're slightly overpaid with 55 million. But look, Brentford are saying, look, we've lost Mbumo. We're now going to take our other striker that got 19 goals last season. Who else is really scoring 19? A lot of teams are signing players from overseas that we don't know if they're Prem proven. So Brentford are like, yeah, we want 55 million from him. You know, Gittins has just gone to Chelsea for that. We've seen other players like Mbumo, 65 million, Cunha, 62 million. Players who are around the same numbers and stuff like that. I understand why Brentford want that money. And in today's market, you've got to pay that for a 28-year-old striker in his peak. But he's got time to repay that because he'll be there for at least 3 seasons. So this is a deal that makes sense. This is a deal that I understand why Newcastle have got him. Not to be the A-star striker and the A-star signing that's, oh my God, everyone's going to be like, wow, Wissa. But no, it's to replace Isak and be part of Waltmarder. And they come together as a blend. They've lost 3 strikers. They needed 2 and they needed different profiles and they needed options. And I've just shown you why Wissa will be signed and what he can bring. So guys, like this video. Make sure you subscribe. Do I think this signing works out? I think it will. Do I think it will be amazing? No, I don't. But I think it's a steady, consistent, Premier League proven player that gives Newcastle options on the left and up top and also potential to play a front two, as I've seen him do it before. So that is why Eddie Howe has been so persistent on Yoane Wissa, and he now has his 28-year-old striker from Brentford. Guys, like this video. Make sure you subscribe and help me on my way to 5K. Bless up.